Okay, so now that you have seen how a model for an equation like this works as far as balancing, uh, performing a balancing act, I want to show you what you can end up doing rather than having to draw out this balance scenario every time. Let's take the same equation that we did before. Really quickly, I'm going to remind you what we did to eliminate this 2x on the right side. We took we introduced two negative x's over here. But we also had introduced two negative x's on the left side to be fair, because after all, this is a scale. It must stay balanced. And so basically what we have done here, well, what we have done here is we have added negative 2x to both sides of this equation. And the result of doing that, well, 2x and negative 2x, the inverse property tells us that's 0. So let's cancel each other out. So all we're left with over here is 9. And 4x and negative 2x, 4, remember this is 0 here. And this is 0 here because of the inverse property, x plus negative x equals 0. So we have 9 on the left, 9 on the right. We have 4x and negative 2x. Well, because the two negative x's that we added over here canceled those two, we end up with just 2x. So this is the resulting equation that we have, 2x plus 5 equals 9. Now we could have done this instead. We could have decided to cancel out these 4 positive x's. How would we do that? We'd have to add 4 negative x's. Negative x, negative x, negative x, negative x. Probably should have done that on the other side. I will. Make it a little bit neater. Negative x, negative x, negative x, and negative x. But if I'm going to do that on the left side, I got to do it on the right side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what have I done? I've added negative 4x to both sides of this equation. The result being, well, I got 0 here. Inverse property. X and negative x, those opposites. Opposites cancel out. Opposites add up to 0. And here I have 4 pairs of opposites. 0. So the result is 0 plus 5. 5 equals, negative 2x is the result here. 2x and negative 4x. 2 positives and 4 negatives. That's 2 negatives. So this equation and this equation here are equivalent. You're still gonna get the same solution. Another example. Here, we want to eliminate these two x's, positive x's with negative x's. And I'll do it over here too. Okay, that gives us, so what have we done? We've added 2 negative x's to cancel the positive x's, but we have to do it on both sides of the equation. Result. Inverse property tells us that's 0. 0 plus 9. And, well, here, there's no cancellation here. This is negative 6x. 6 negatives. 4 negatives and 2 negatives is 6 negatives. Or option we could have decided to cancel out these 4 negatives over here. And we would do that with 4 positives. X, 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 X. But that would require 4 positives over here as well. What have we done? We have added 4 positive x's to both sides of the equation. The inverse property tells us that that sum is 0. So that's 0 there. Inverse property, opposites cancel. 0 plus 5 is 5. 2x and 4x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6x there. And again, I'm leaving this is not completely solved yet, but you can take over from here using the X box as I've shown you before. And actually, you can play this game some more with the balancing. We could cancel out these 9 positives with 9 negatives, and we have to add 9 negatives over here. We could do that, but that's not what my purpose is right now. Okay. Alternatively, let's see. Is this the same new equation here? Okay. Let's cancel out these 2 negative x's over here. Cancel them out with 2 positive x's. Alright, I'll add 2 positive x's over here as well. So we put 2 positive x's on both sides, staying balanced. And we have 0 here. Inverse property. So that leaves negative 2x plus 5 on the left side, and we have 0 here. Negative 2x and positive 2x, inverse property, a equals 0, 9. Alternatively, we could have canceled out all 4 of the, we could have canceled the negative x's on the left side. X, we add 4x. But to keep the scale balanced, we're going to have to add 4x on the right also. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that equals 0. Inverse property. Oops, forgot. Oops. We've got to be fair. We can't add 4x on one side without adding it on the other. And this is 0. So 0x on the left, so all we have left is that 5 there. And we have the 2 positive x's left on the right. Negative 2x, 2 negatives and 4 positives yields 2 positives. And finally, we can, let's see, I want to do it the other way around. I want to cancel out these 2 negative x's here. So and that means I had to do that by adding 2x to both sides. Result 0 plus 9. Result here 0. Negative 2x is left because 4 negatives and 2 positives is 2 negatives. And it's all about the inverse property. Let's see, is that the same example 3 times in a row? Wait, I think I've done the same example 3 times in a row, haven't I? Oh, brother. Alright, I think you get the point. Sorry about that.